All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining me here for another class in our Produce Spotlight series. My name is Charlotte Scheid. I'm one of the Giant Company dietitians, and I again appreciate everybody coming to class today. So for our Produce Spotlight class, we are still talking about the leafy greens, and we're going to be featuring Sweet Baby Butterleaf, which is a super unique lettuce. I don't know if anybody has tried it, which actually I'm going to ask everybody a poll question if you have or not, but that is what we're going to be focusing on today with this specific leaf. And I just wanted to review too about Little Leaf Farms. So Little Leaf Farms is a brand that we have in store. They offer a variety of different lettuce types, for instance, so baby crispy green leaf lettuce, baby red and green lettuce, baby spring, sweet and crispy. And again, we're going to be featuring that sweet baby butter leaf, which is super delicious and a great addition to many different types of recipes. And just a little bit about Little Leaf Farms. So they were founded to make locally grown lettuce that's available year round, which is very nice. And it is grown, or the lettuce is grown, greenhouse grown in a 10-acre facility. And what they have is a hands-free growing practice from seeding to harvest. So it's trade marketed as clean from the start. So no hands are ever on the lettuce at all. And they use captured rainwater to water the greens, and the greens are delivered to local grocery stores within 24 hours. And they're located like a little below kind of Hazleton area. So just a little bit about Little Leaf Farms. If this is the first time you're joining for a class today to learn a little bit more about Little Leaf Farms, but it's definitely a wonderful brand that we have in store, and definitely check it out if you have not done so already. So let's talk a little bit about sweet baby butterleaf lettuce, and let me pull up my poll question because I would love to hear from all of you if you have already tried this lettuce type. So the question for today is, have you tried sweet baby butterleaf lettuce? So we'll give everybody a couple seconds to try that. And again, hopefully this class today will inspire you to do so because it's a super delicious lettuce type. All right, so let me go ahead and end the poll. And this actually surprises me a little bit. So I'll go ahead and end the poll and I'll share the results. So it's almost half and half, which actually surprises me because I thought the majority would be no, but it's great to hear that some of you, or almost half of you, have already tried the sweet baby butterleaf lettuce. And I think you will definitely like the recipe that we have for today. So thanks everybody for answering that question. So sweet baby butterleaf lettuce, it's kind of in the name. So it's like a buttery, smooth, very soft leaf texture, kind of with a hint of sweetness, but it's definitely not bitter at all. So especially if you have picky eaters at home with kids or adults, it's a wonderful addition to many different types of to meals. So it's slightly cupped or kind of a ruffled shape. It's harvested young, so heads are a little bit smaller and leaves are bite size. But there's a variety of different ways to use it. So it can be a great base to salads, sandwiches, and burgers. Since it's very mild, a little bit of sweet, definitely tastes good on a good burger or grilled burger, which this time of year in the summertime, burgers are always a go-to in our house. And also you can incorporate them into different types of wraps, or like a lettuce taco. So instead of the taco shell, you just use lettuce. You can use them in roll-ups, or even like a lettuce sandwich is always a good addition too, because they have that slightly cupped, ruffled shape. They make a great addition with those different types of foods. So again, a little bit about sweet baby butterleaf lettuce, but again, super mild, kind of a little bit sweet, but it has like the kind of a buttery taste to it, and definitely a very soft lettuce type. So also want to review kind of the nutritional benefits, not just of the sweet baby butterleaf lettuce, but just of leafy greens in general. So we know that they are a great source of vitamin K, so that's important for bone health. Also calcium, which is important for strong bones and muscle function. Vitamin C, so boosts immune system and assists with iron absorption, and also great with fiber. So you'll see in our recipe, which I'll review a little bit later, it's a recipe that has a lot of fiber in it, which is nice. So fiber helps to aid in digestion, helps to regulate our blood sugar, and also with weight management because it helps us to feel full longer and feel satisfied. So of course, a lot of different nutritional benefits with our leafy greens. Okay, so these are some recipe ideas for the sweet baby butter leaf lettuce. So these come off of the Little Leaf Farms website. So the first one being a sweet baby butter leaf salad with a lemon hot honey vinaigrette. So hot honey has been pretty popular, or kind of that flavor, let's say the past year or so. So you see with our ingredients, you're incorporating some orange, shallot, avocado, and goat cheese, which is always a favorite of mine, gives it a really good flavor. And then our lemon hot honey vinaigrette, some olive oil, fresh lemon juice, Dijon mustard, apple cider vinegar, some hot honey, fresh parsley, a little bit of sea salt, and black pepper. So super easy to make and a lot of good flavor as well. And then the other one that I wanted to mention that also comes off of Little Leaf Farm's website. So sweet baby butter leaf chicken salad wrap. So we had mentioned, you can use the leaf kind of as the outside or like the wrap. We're just going to use some rotisserie chicken, some barbecue sauce, red onion, pineapple to give a little bit of sweetness, some scallions, lime juice, and a little salt and pepper to taste. So just giving you another idea, especially when we're talking about you can kind of substitute the sweet baby butter leaf for the wrap, which makes it nice. All right, so let's get to our featured recipe, which we are going to be making in class for today. So we're making a Mexican chicken salad lettuce cups. So this recipe incorporates a lot of my favorite ingredients in many different types of recipes. So we're going to be in a bowl mixing some rotisserie chicken. So I went to the store and I always like finding this product because it's already a shredded, or they've already cut up the rotisserie chicken and shredded it. So this is about a pound in this container right here. So we're going to be mixing in rotisserie chicken with some red bell pepper, yellow bell pepper, and orange bell pepper, which you see right here. I've already diced it up. One small red onion, which already diced this up too. And we're going to be adding in a can of black beans and mixing that up. And then in our sauce, we're going to be incorporating some olive oil, chili powder, cumin, garlic powder. You can either do smoked paprika or just regular paprika, and a little bit of salt and pepper to taste. And so once we mix that dressing on it, we're also going to be adding in some diced avocados, some fresh cilantro, which I've already cut up right here. And if you don't like cilantro, I think you can also add in some parsley or fresh parsley if cilantro is not your thing at all. And then there was one other, let's see. Oh, and is it pepper jack cheese? Yeah. And then we're also going to be adding in, so I just got a block of our brand pepper jack cheese and I already shredded it up. So we're going to be adding in about a half cup of the, and it doesn't have to be Cabot either. I'm just using our brand shredded pepper jack cheese. So I already shredded it up before class. So we're going to be mixing all that up and then putting out the leaves on a platter, scooping the chicken mixture, and then we're gonna top it with a little bit of, you can either use sour cream, where I'm going to be using just our brand plain Greek non-fat yogurt for a little bit of additional protein, some lime juice, or a sprinkle of lime juice, and then a sprinkle of chili powder. So a wonderful recipe, does get 3 guiding stars, so a lot of different nutritional benefits with it. It does serve 4, so there's 4 servings in this recipe. So for 1 serving is 11 grams of fiber and 40 grams of protein. So if you eat this for lunch, you're definitely going to feel fuller, longer, wonderful for weight management, or just like if you want a, good, stable, long energy. So anyways, so that's our recipe for today, and we are going to go ahead and start making that. So let me go ahead and stop sharing my screen. Okay. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get started. So I'm just going to bring over my bowl right here. And I'm going to put in my rotisserie chicken. So this recipe calls for about a pound. So you can see I have I guess this is 1.2 pounds, but it's about a pound. So this is already our shredded rotisserie chicken. But if you want to make your own rotisserie chicken and pull it apart and shred it up, you can, of course, do that as well. Actually, I just might save, let me just put a little bit in since it was about 1.2 pounds or whatever. Okay. So I added this in. Let me go ahead and just pull this apart just a little bit, but it's still nice that it's already up for the most part, shredded up. So let me go ahead and pull this. All right, so the next thing we're going to add in is our red, orange, and yellow bell pepper that I already have diced up. Gives it some nice color. So you can see here I already, again, have diced this up. So we're just going to add this in. And we're also going to add in one red onion. Oops, I guess it's kind of a small, it was a small red onion, but so I diced that up. I'm just going to add this in. And our black beans. So the black beans that I'm using are our low sodium black beans. But even if you just want to use the regular black beans, since you're rinsing them, draining them, it takes about 40% of the sodium off if sodium is of concern to you. So we're going to go ahead and add this in. Let me just go ahead and give this, kind of stir this up before we start making our dressing. Just pull apart some of this chicken. You can also take the chicken out too and kind of dice it up if you want to do that too. Or you can have longer pieces like what's in here. Okay. All right, so let me go ahead and set this to the side and we're going to go ahead and make our dressing. Actually, take this. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to add is the juice of 2 limes. So you can see I have my limes right here. And let's see where I put my knife. Here it is. So we're just going to put the juice right into this bowl right here. So let me go ahead and chop this up. You can also get the lime juice if you would like, that's already in the container. That's already ready to go, but I always like fresh lime juice. I think it gives a little bit more of a pop of flavor. And luckily these limes are nice and juicy. Sometimes you want to make sure with limes too that they're like a little bit heavy, because that usually means that they have more juice in them. If they're lighter or feel drier, they're not going to have as much juice. All right, so there's one. Let's do one more. Then after this, we're going to add in 3 tablespoons of olive oil and then our seasonings. So I'm just trying to make sure I get all the juice out of here. But I think overall these 2 limes definitely some good juice in them. So let me pull over. So I'm using our extra virgin olive oil. So this gives us nice healthy fats. So we're gonna do 3 tablespoons. Let me get my tablespoon measuring spoon. Do 1, 2, 3. All right, so then we're going to add in a half teaspoon of chili powder. So I just have my chili powder right here. So let's do a half of a teaspoon. It's about a half. Right, so half teaspoon of chili powder and then half of a teaspoon of cumin. It's a lot of great flavor, especially with different types of Mexican dishes. These are the seasonings that you would expect. All right, so let's do a half of a teaspoon cumin. And then we're going to do a half of a teaspoon of garlic powder. So garlic powder right here. Then 1/4 of a teaspoon of paprika. So you can either use smoked paprika or just regular paprika. So I just have our Nature's Promise paprika. But smoked would definitely give more of a, I guess, more strong flavor. I thought I had this open, but I didn't. That's okay. Yeah. All right. And then after we put in our paprika, we're going to just season it with a little bit of salt and pepper. do 1/4 of a teaspoon paprika. We'll do our salt and pepper to taste. The salt and a little bit of pepper. Yeah. All right. So let me just get a fork and let's stir this up. All right. So actually, let me go ahead and just pour this into the bowl. And then we'll cut up our avocado and then put our avocado in and then cheese. So here is let me actually just, like this is almost too much chicken, but let me just put just a couple pieces over here. So we're gonna pour in this dressing. So really it's like just enough dressing to cover it. So we'll go ahead and mix this up. And if you want the flavors to combine even more, they suggest with the dressing, you can put it in the refrigerator overnight and then take it out the next day and then make the recipe. So this dressing is a good amount to just cover everything. Okay, so I'm just going to let this sit over here. I'm going to go ahead and cut up avocado. And for this recipe is just 1 avocado. So these are about just right. So I'm just taking my knife and cutting right down the center, of course, watching my fingers. Let's open this up. This looks like a pretty nice avocado. Actually, let me go ahead and just push this out a little bit, and we're going to dice it up. So we have that one. Take out the pit. Push this one out. Just pushing kind of right in the center. Pops out. Cut off the end. All right, so I'm just going to dice this up. Smaller pieces. This avocado is a nice way too to add some healthy fats to these Mexican chicken cups. All right, so this is looking good. So I'm going to add this to my bowl. All right, you can see the bowl right here. Okay, so we're going to add our avocado. Then I'm also going to add in that shredded pepper jack cheese. So here's my shredded pepper jack cheese. So I'm going to add this in as well as my fresh cilantro, which I already kind of cut up just to kind of release the flavor a little bit more. But again, if you don't like cilantro, you can always substitute for parsley or you can just leave it out altogether. All right. Actually, let me wipe my hands. So we're just going to mix this up and then we're going to plate some of our Little Leaf Farms sweet baby butter leaf lettuce. We'll scoop that into or on top of the lettuce. This certainly smells really, really good. All of these flavor combinations. So then when we scoop it on top of the lettuce, we're going to add some non-fat plain Greek yogurt, a sprinkle of lime juice, and some chili powder as well. It's just looking good. I think for the most part, everything is coated with our dressing. And you could definitely store this in the refrigerator too. I would say for at least 4 or 5 days. And I think the flavors would combine even more if you did that. So you can kind of pull this out throughout the week and eat it for lunch. So it makes for a really quick lunch or dinner. Okay. Let me move my cutting board. Put some other stuff out of the way. I'm going to bring over my plate. We're going to put some of our sweet baby butter leaf lettuce plate. So you can see here. So here's our sweet baby butter leaf lettuce. And you could even do, see this, so kind of 2 lettuce per chicken scoop. So these are a little smaller. I'm going to just put one more right here. So you can see it has a nice kind of a scoop shape to it. All right, so let me get my scoop here. You don't have to use something like this. Just think it make just a little bit easier for a scoop. And put it right on top of our lettuce. Great little scoop. Another one. All right, so let's go ahead and add our Greek non-fat yogurt. So again, gives a little bit more of a pop of protein, but you can always use sour cream if you like that as well. So I'm just using a smaller scoop version. Just gonna put this right on top. Wipe my hand. All right, so I'm gonna cut my line. We're just gonna do a sprinkle of lime juice just over top. And then sprinkle some chili powder. So chili powder, just like that. And that's pretty much it. So these are our the Mexican chicken salad lettuce cups. So very easy to make, but a lot of flavor. But definitely a good recipe for that sweet baby butter leaf lettuce. All right.